Hi, my name is Jerome Bradford. I'm here at the Reverb Lounge interviewing Mikey Hood from the band The Hoods, who is a really awesome band, great hardcore band. Been listening to them a very long time. Thank you again for this interview. Just want to ask you some questions about your band and hardcore in general. What was that moment that hardcore music connected to you? I know for me it was discovering Bad Brains, Black Flag, and that, I can march to my own drum beat.
Well, the first kind of punk stuff I heard was like the Sex Pistols. So I really got into the Sex Pistols, and that was like probably in like the early 80s. And then I discovered like bands like Black Flag, that song Nervous Breakdown. Mm-hmm. I think the pivotal point in that was like maybe like that song Nervous Breakdown, man. If you've ever heard it, it really captivates it's what hardcore is. Mm-hmm. Everything, the energy, the pain, the anger, it just encompassed all that for me. So I think a lot of it had to do with that album, the first 4 years, Black Flag. Then obviously you mentioned the Bad Brains. Mm-hmm. Bad Brains, man. I mean, Rock for Life. Like there's so many good albums. Every album's pretty good. Then like I got into like, Cro-Mags and metal stuff like that. But before that, like Jimi Hendrix and Deep Purple, it all led to the Sex Pistols and the Clash, and then led to hardcore punk. It's all hardcore punk.
Right. Nice. Do you guys have any favorite city? All the scenes are great and cool, but like what's your favorite city to go to?
It's like, I would say all of Texas, man. Because Texas, any city in Texas, it's like you get everything. You get like city people, punk rockers, straight edge kids. Texas is very diverse, and it's like you get the New York style, then you get the California punk style right in the middle, and Texas has their own style. But as far as any place in particular that is always just great, I don't have one. I like all these shows, man. Like we just played Pocatello last night in a dungeon, basically, and it was one of my favorite shows in the last couple months anyways.
Nice. That's awesome, man. I know
you're missing the tooth.
Right, yeah. And you know what's so funny about it? I wish I could say it was a cool hockey accident. It's actually because of a pizza. Like I bit a piece of crust that was too hard. I don't even have like a cool hockey story or a cool pit story. It's like, and piece of crust that was too hard.
Hey, man, mine was a bicycle accident.
Nice.
Everybody, because I used to get in a lot of fights. I don't get in fights no more. I'm 48 years old.
Yeah.
I'm against violence like of that nature. I was riding my bicycle home, and I went over the handlebars.
Ooh.
Everybody, they're like, what happened? And I'm like, man, I fought like 20 dudes.
Nice.
You should see them. But no, bicycle accident.
Nice. I think
pizza crust.
Right, yeah. Hardcore right now is in a state where it's just pulling from everything. Are there other bands that influence you beside hardcore bands, and what are they?
It reminds me of like when I got into hardcore between like 1982 and 84. People are pissed off. Hardcore kids are pissed off at the government, their parents, but that also fuels the energy that's in this scene because we could get our anger out positively. But I think the state of hardcore right now, it comes in waves. Like you got like the early 80s and the mid to late 80s was great. The early 90s, the mid 90s were great. Early 2000s, 2005, 6, 7 was great. It comes and goes in waves. And right now this is a strong wave of kids. It's alive and well. I'm 48 years old. I grew up in this scene since I was 8 years old. I started going to shows very young. And right now what I see right now in hardcore is basically what went on in the 80s. It means everything, man. And the kids nowadays, we're blessed to have this, man. I'm not religious or anything, but
one thing I noticed from your music, you have this very like persevere movement, strive to be better. Did you get that from a relative, or was that through the music? For me, I got a lot of that through the music. Like my dad was in there. My mom was kind of like, stay at the station in life you need to be. Don't dare to be different. Where did that come from you?
Same thing. I guess it's my mom. My mom's been terminally ill since I've been a little kid. She's got multiple sclerosis, and I see her go through like really bad pain, and that's what pushes me to keep working hard and don't give up. Because if you see someone you love go through such horrible things, and then you see someone complaining about something petty, suck it up. You can't give up, man. And if you want to give up, man, I'm just not here. I'm not that guy.
No.
I want people in my immediate circle to flourish and strive and become better and stay drug and alcohol free. And the world's pretty tough. I think people fail to realize that we're all just human beings, and I would say my mom pushes me to be strong because my mom ain't, but mentally she's a beast. I love my mom.
Nice. Is there a song that if you had to introduce a kid that like would sum up the band, or maybe even like an album, what would it be for you and why?
I would just say, I don't know, man. They're all personal.
Nice.
But the one that I attacked that was the most like aggressive, I think, was King is Dead. I wrote that about a record label we used to be on. I won't mention their names. People know the time frames. But we were on a really big label back in the early 2000s, and it's about people take advantage of us, like you'll have 200 kids at a show and they'll try to give you $20. That's why we do all this DIY. I booked this show through Lucas. The next two shows are with Lucas, DIY. Half these people I go on tour with, I call them on my phone. I don't have a booking agent.
That was cool. That was one of the things that I liked. Your friend was like, "Hey, just direct message Mikey Hood," and I asked him. I was like, "Yeah, cool.
Jerome.
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah,
this is cool.
Yeah,
this is what hardcore is right here. Guy comes up in a Shelter shirt.
Check them out.
Yeah, Shelter. Ray Capo.
Yeah.
Check out Youth of Today. Shelter's cool, but Youth of Today is.
Oh, that's check
energy.
it all out.
Yeah.
Just got a couple more questions for you. Are there some newer bands that if you had to tell listeners to listen to right now or turn on, who would you recommend?
God, it would take a minute. There's a lot. You got Smash Your Enemies. You got the Cutthroats out of the Bay Area by San Francisco. Who else? Arcline from Los Angeles. There's so many bands right now that are so good. Sworn Vengeance is back. Powerhouse is back from the Bay Area. I used to be in Powerhouse for a couple shows. Reno. Reno's got a new straight edge band called Ego Trip. They're really good kids.
Heard them. They're really great. I just bought
nice
some
kids,
of their stuff.
They remind me of me because I started in this scene at a really young age, and I'm almost 49 years old. But man, the Ego Trip kids are cool. And there's a lot of good hardcore bands coming out right now.
Well, thank you for your time. I just got one last question for you. If you had a time capsule and you had to put any hardcore album, punk album in that time capsule, what would it be? I know it's hard for me to. I always go back between Sex Pistols, Bad Brains, or Gorilla Biscuits, but I'll let you answer.
I would say, I don't know.
2. How about 2?
Okay, never mind the Bullock, Sex Pistols, and Fear the Record.
There you go.
Yeah, straight up. I can't close my eyes, Youth of Today. And 7 Seconds, Circle Jerks, DRI, Dead Kennedys, MDC, Love Punk Hardcore.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jerome. Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you very much for allowing me to do this, Mikey. Yeah, and thank you for bringing, like, a hardcore show through here, man. Like, we talked about that earlier.
Hey, big ups to Lucas.
Yeah, Lucas, Black Heart Booking.
Black Heart Booking's cool, man. Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Nice
Thank
to meet
you.
you.
Thank you.